Hello friends, as decided we will be revising some of the previous topics, and then today again we will be starting with valuation of bonds. Is correct. So as far as this unit is concerned, that is security valuation and security analysis, we have done n numbers of formulas. So what we are doing today is we are revising all the formulas that we have done. Is it correct? So if you are having a book, you can just note down all the formulas that we have done up till now in security analysis and valuation. So starting with we got that ratio of interest coverage ratio. Is it all right? What was the answer? EBIT, the profit which covers interest divided by interest. Is it all right? Then it was capital.
Sir, the screen is not seen.
Yes, capital gearing ratio. What was capital gearing ratio? Capital having fixed rate of interest like preference share capital and debentures, divided by capital not having fixed rate of interest, which is nothing but equity share capital plus reserves. Reserves is a part of equity. Is it alright? So these are the formulas that we have done in question number part 2, that is based upon ratios. Also return on equity, that is earnings available to equity shareholders divided by equity multiplied by 100. As I told you, as far as this ratios are concerned, you should try to learn all the ratios of ratio analysis in intermediate chapter. Is it alright? It is not certain that only this ratios again will be repeated in other sum. In other sum, some other ratios might be asked. So understanding and learning of all ratios are important. I am not writing a very silly formula which are like EPS and that all type of formulas. Is it all right? Again, it was asset turnover ratio. Whenever it is turnover ratio, the name of the turnover ratio comes in denominator. Is it all right? And normally it is turnover in numerator. Then we have learned some of the formulas of that preference shareholder conversion, is it all, or bond conversion. This formulas, conversion value of preference shares. It is number of shares converted multiplied by market price of share. Then it was conversion premium. What was conversion premium? It is market price of preference shares minus conversion value divided by conversion value multiplied by 100. Is it alright? Then there was conversion parity price. What was it? It was price of bond divided by number of shares to be given. If this is the price, you are indifferent in conversion, whether you convert your preference shares into equity shares or whether you not convert your preference shares into equity shares, it will not make any difference. This there was one more formula of the downside risk. Yes, it was a percentage downside risk. It was a market price of preference shares minus a straight value of preference shares divided by straight value of preference shares multiplied by 100. What was straight value of preference shares? It is a value of preference shares if this preference shares were not convertible. Then what would be the price of this particular share? What is the market price of preference shares? Is the shares are actually convertible shares, and so what is actual market price of preference shares is nothing but this. Is it all right? We have done this in preference share conversion. Then we went to buyback. Buyback we have covered each and every point, and then was EVA. Is it all right? How to find out economic value added? No part minus weighted average cost of capital multiplied by capital employed. What is capital employed? It is everything: equity, reserves, debt, preferences. Weighted average cost of capital is nothing but KO. Is it all right? How to find out no part? It is EBIT into 1 minus T. Is it all right? And we have done other variations of this in question number 4 of that particular economic value added. Is it all right? After economic value added, we directly went into bonds. Is it all right? And yesterday we have done n number of points of bond. Is it all right? Like, first point was yield to maturity. What is the yield to maturity? It is a rate of interest which is actually earned by bond, or it is IRR of bond. Is it all right? What we will be doing? We will be doing trial and error with the two rates, one having positive NPV, one having negative NPV. We will be using interpolation technique to find out IRR, which is base rate, plus NPV, which was positive, divided by difference in NPV multiplied by difference in rate. Is it all right? But you need two rates. One IRR should be positive, one IRR should be negative. Is it all right? Also, the approximation technique we can use, whereby we can do this: interest plus redemption value minus market price divided by number of years upon redemption value plus market price divided by 2 multiplied by 100. But please understand, this formula is an approximate formula. Is it all right? Whereby you will be getting approximate yield to maturity. It is not an exact answer. Now, once again, what is yield to maturity? Actual rate of return which you are earning from the bond is nothing but yield to maturity. Why it is termed as yield to maturity? While calculating this, we will assume that we are keeping bond up till maturity. Yield is earning up to maturity in the terms of percentage per annum. Is it all right? This was yield to maturity. Is it all right? Then we went to duration of bond. Average number of years of recovery. Maclaurin's duration of the bond. Is it all right? It is also one of the measurement of risk. Is it all right? How to find out? To find out, it is sigma IW divided by sigma W, where I is years and weight is present value of cash flow at the rate of yield to maturity. Is it all right? So this also is a measurement of risk. And once again we are revising. If you have understood yesterday's lecture, this should be absolutely clear. If the market price of the bond increases, the duration will increase. If the market price of bond decreases, the duration will decrease. If the interest rate in market increases, the interest rate in market increases, this bond is giving you, yes, then your duration will increase. Just a minute. Interest rate, you have done it yesterday. market price of the bond will decrease and risk will decrease, so duration will decrease. Is it alright? If the interest rate decreases, market price will increase and duration of the bond will increase. Is it alright? So we have done all the relationship between interest and various variables of bond. Is it alright? Then we went to modified duration. What was modified duration? First, how to find out duration of bond divided by 1 plus YTM. Is it alright? Suppose it comes 5. Is it alright? 5 percentage is modified duration. This will be in years. Duration will be in years. Is it alright? Suppose modified duration is 5. Is it alright? We also understood that interest rate and market price of bond is having inverse relationship. If interest rate increases by 1%, market price will decrease by 5% if the modified duration is 5. If interest rate will decrease by 1%, market price of bond will increase by 5% if the modified duration is 5. So these are the 3 concepts that we did yesterday, and today what we are going to do is we are going to calculate some of the questions related to bonds. Is it alright? So if you are having your book, you can open your book and we will be going to each questions. So this is first question. First question is of YTM. If the market price of the bond is 95, year to maturity is 6 years, coupon rate is 13%, paid annually, issue price of the bond, this is the face value of the bond, what is yield to maturity? I am finding out yield to maturity by approximation method. Start it. How to find out yield to maturity by approximation method? Interest plus redemption value minus price of the bond divided by number of years, redemption value plus price of the bond divided by 2. What will be interest per annum? 100 multiplied by 13%. The coupon or interest is always paid on face value. So interest will be 13 rupees. What is redemption value? If nothing is given, face value is your redemption value. Is it? It is 100 minus price is 95 divided by 6 upon 100 plus 95 divided by 2 multiplied by 100. Is it? This will be 97.5. This is 5 divided by 6 plus 13. 5 divided by 6 plus 13 divided by 97.5 multiplied by 100. So what is the yield to maturity of bond is 14.18%. And understand, whenever you are writing approximation technique, you should always write down this is approximate answer. This will give you 4 marks. The answer is yes. See, many students ask me, sir, why we cannot find out actual IRR? You can always do it if you are not going to use this approximation technique. But understand, this was how many marks question? 5 marks question. Finding out IRR even in this simple question will be lengthy. I'm not saying it will be difficult. Is it alright? Now, if the rate of interest, coupon rate is 13% and face value is 100, market price is 95, means you will be earning more than 13%. See, logically you should be understanding that you will be getting more than 13%. So where I will start from, this is an alternate technique. This is approximate one, this is actual one. Actually Y2M I will be getting. But understand, in this also I do interpolation. So I will be getting approximate answer only. So in this case, what will be the answer? I will be finding out NPV at first 14% because I know it is greater than 13%. So I am finding out NPV at the rate of 14%. What will be my cash flow? From 1 to 6 years, it will be 13 rupees, and in 6th year, I will be getting 100 rupees back. I will be finding out present value of cash inflow minus present value of cash outflow is 95. I will be getting answer of NPV. Is it alright? Let me find out answer of this. 1 divided by 1.14 is equal to M plus 6 times 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. MRC multiplied by 13 rupees is 50.55. And the present value of the sixth year is 1 divided by 1.14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multiplied by 100 is 45.55. It is 96.10, so this will be 1.10. Now understand, if the answer is coming 1.10, I advise you to write down 14% approximately. Don't even use the interpolation technique. But as I told you, as it is our first question, let me find out the exact answer so that in any other situation you can find out the answers. I will be finding out NPV at the rate of 15% also. Is it alright? The cash flow will remain same, 1300. I will be finding out present value of cash inflow. I know present value of cash outflow is 95. I will be getting answer of NPV. If this is negative, I can use that interpolation technique. Is it alright? What will be present value of cash inflow in this case? 1 divided by 1.15 is equal to M plus 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. MRC multiplied by 13 is 49.19, and this will be 1 divided by 1.15 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multiplied by 100 is 43.23. It is 92.42. I will be getting negative answer of 2.58. One is positive, one is negative. I can take this rate as a base rate. I will be using that interpolation technique formula IRR. For logic, you can visit previous lectures. Is it alright? I even told you the logic of this IRR. It is base rate plus positive NPV divided by difference in NPV multiplied by difference in rate. Base rate I am taking 14% plus positive NPV is 1.10. Difference in NPV is addition of this two, which will be 3.68. Why addition? This minus this multiplied by 1. Is it alright? Which is nothing but 1.1 divided by 3.68 plus 14 1.10 divided by 3.68. It is 0.29 plus 14% was base rate. It is 14.29%. Sir, the answers are not same. Agreed. Because this is approximation technique, this is an actual technique. Sir, when in examination I can use approximation technique, you can use it at any point of time if YTM is asked. I will suggest you, if there are less number of marks, directly find out by approximation method. If there are more marks, say this question is of 8 marks, find it out by interpolation method. Here also, here we are doing approximation only. Is it alright? But this will be lesser approximation. This will be more approximation. Is it alright? This is first question, finding out YTM. Question number 2. An investor is considering the purchase of following bond. Face value ₹100, coupon rate 11, maturity 3 years. If he wants a yield of 13%, so he wants earnings of how much? 13%, what is the maximum price he should be ready to pay for? Stop it. Alright, second question I'll be doing afterwards. First tell me, if he wants a 13% rate of return, see this rates, huh? I want any student, put your mic on and give me the answer. The price which is going ready to pay will be less than 100 or more than 100. I don't want exact answer. I just want the answer whether it will be less than 100 or more than 100.
Less than 100.
Less than 100.
It will be less than 100. Is it alright? So all of you who has given the answer is correct. Why? At 100 rupees, I will be getting 11 rupees every year. But that is 11%. But I want 13%. So I will not be ready to pay 100. I will be ready to pay less than 100. Is it alright? All of you now understand that concept? If the rate of interest increases in the market price decreases. See, all of you told it will be less than 100. Is it alright? I will be finding out the maximum price I am ready to pay. Remember our golden rule of finance. Present value of a future cash flow. These are my future cash flows. 1, 2, 3. What is the present value? 11 rupees, 11 rupees, 111 rupees. These are cash flows. I need to find out present value at my discount rate. 13%. One more question again. Easy one. If I discount this all value at 11%, what will be my answer? If I discount all this value at 11%, what will be my answer? Anyone? No one. It will be exactly 100. Is it alright? Because you are paying 100 rupees, they are giving you 11 rupees interest every year, and at the end of maturity also you will be getting 100 rupees back. So neither there is redemption premium nor there is issue discount, and you are getting a flat rate of interest of 11%. So your answer will be 100. But I need to find out present value at the rate of 13% because my required rate of return is 13%. Is it alright? So this answer will be 1 divided by 1.13 is equal to M plus MRC multiplied by 11 is 18.34. This answer will be 1 divided by 1.13 is equal to multiplied by 111 will be 76.92. This is 6, 2, 15, 9. It is 95.26 rupees is a maximum price investor is ready to pay. Again, a simple question of present value. Is it alright? If the bond is selling at 97.60, what would be his yield? Question number 2. If market price of bond is 97.60 rupees, is it alright? Please, anyone can tell me whether in situation whether he will purchase the bond or not. I don't want the answer what is the yield. I want the answer whether he will purchase or not.
Yes, purchase.
He will purchase? Sure, Jamie?
Yes.
No, sir, he will not purchase.
Not purchase.
He will
Sir,
not
he will
purchase. Why? Market has overvalued. Market has overvalued. It is costlier in the market. See, what is the maximum price you are
But
ready
sir,
to
he is
pay?
still getting.
Yes?
But sir, at 97.60, he is still getting a coupon rate of more than 11%. So he will purchase.
What
now.
is his requirement?
Requirement is 13%, but it was first question.
Requirement is?
Requirement is 13%, but it was in first question. No? The second question is separate, I think.
No, it is. See, coupon rate is never your required rate of return. Huh? what is coupon rate is given by company. It is not your required rate of return. So your required rate of return still will remain 13%. Is it alright? See, what is this? Maximum price you are ready to pay. What is the market price? 97.60. So it is, so this should be considered as your required rate of return only. Is it alright? Let us find out yield. Then I'll explain you why again it will not be, but you will have to take that your required rate of return is 13%. Is it alright? If the market price of the bond is 97.60, you are earning less than 13%. That is for sure. Is it alright? Because at 13% you should pay 95.26. If you are paying more than 95.26, that is 97.60, you are getting less than 13%. So I will be starting with a 10%. I will be finding out NPV at 10%. Is it alright? So cash flow will remain same. 1, 2, 3, 11, 11, 1, 1, 1. I need to find out present value of cash inflow at the rate of 10%. Is it alright? It is 1 divided by 1.10 1 divided by 1.1 is equal to M plus MRC multiplied by 11 is 19.09, and 111 is 1 divided by 1.1 is equal to multiplied by 111 is 83.39. It is 102.48. What you are actually paying? 97.60, and this will be 8. It is 4.88 positive. So you are earning more than 10%. Let me try it out. I know that it is not 13%. Let me try it out at 12%. Same, I will be finding out present value of cash inflow at the rate of 12%. 1 divided by 1.12 is equal to M plus MRC multiplied by 11 is 18.59. 1 divided by 1.12, 1, 2, 3 multiplied by 111 is 79. $97.59. This is 97.60. This is negative 0.01. Interpolation will be required, or you can directly write down. You can directly write down. Is it alright? IRR or yield YTM will be 12% approximately. See this. This is 0. It is as good. 0.01 is as good as 0. IRR is the rate at which NPV is 0. So what is your YTM? 12%. Is it alright? Try to understand once again my question. Whether you will purchase it or not? No. What the bond is giving you? 12%. What is your required rate of return? Is 13%. Is it alright? Let me write it down. What is bond is giving you? Is 12%. What is your required rate of return? Is 13%. What will be your decision? Not to purchase. So, Jaimin, are you getting it? Is it alright? Even if this is not written that this should be applicable over here, in any case, this cannot be your required rate of return. Is it alright? Coupon rate can never be your required rate of return. It is the rate which actually the company is giving on face value. Is it alright? Not even on market value. It is the company giving the rate on face value. Is it alright? So this is 1.6.2. Again, an easy question. Just valuation and YTM was asked. Third and fourth, we'll be doing afterwards. We are going to fifth. The following data are available for a bond. Face value is 1000. Coupon rate is 16%. Yield to maturity is 6. Redemption value is 1000. Yield to maturity is 17%. Can anyone from you explain me the 17%? What is this given as YTM? Anyone? Stuti, can you help me out? Stuti?
17% is the IR which it is expected return from the bond.
It is expected or actual return from the bond?
Sir, actual return would be 16%, no, sir, and 17 will be expected. What if we will sell at the rate? We expect 17%
All right.
return.
See, on the screen, we have learned YTM. YTM is rate of interest which is actually earned. It is not my expected rate of return. Is it alright? It is not my expected rate of return. Try to understand. Yield to maturity is 17%. What does it mean? This bond is actually earning 17%. Now try to understand what I am doing. Is it alright? I am discounting the cash flows. Now the cash flows will be as under 1000 into 16% will be 160. So there will be 6 years. 1 to 6 years. My cash flow will be 16 rupees. Years to maturity is 6. At the end of 6th year, I will be getting 1000 rupees back. I am finding out present value at the rate of YTM. Is it alright? What is my YTM? 17%. Is it alright? 1 divided by 1.17 is equal to M plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. MRC multiplied by 16. 57.42.
Sir, it will be 160, not 16.
Oh, yes, it is 1000. Thank you. So it will be 474. Approximately this. Is it all? 1 divided by 1.17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multiplied by 1000 is 389. It is 964.03 rupees. Is it right? I have discounted this cash flow at YTM, internal rate of return. Is it alright? Let me go to 2-3 points in this particular point itself. Is it alright? First, any student who can find out this answer, see the answer which I have taken, 574.2. Is it alright? With GT, can he or she just explain me? Mehak?
Yes, sir.
Can you find out this answer with GT?
I did it with the same 1 divided by 1.17.
1 divided by 1.17.
7.
Yes.
Is equal to for 6 times.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then
Grand total
GT multiplied by 160.
160.
Is it alright? See, this is the best method. Why I am not doing it is this calculator is not having GT. Is it alright? This is the electronic calculator not having GT. I am finding out a calculator with GT, then I will be doing with GT. But whenever it is present value of annuity, GT is a shortcut method. Because I need to press every time this is equal to M plus is equal to M plus. With GT, you can directly do it. Is it alright? This is first point. Second point. Please understand, if you discount your cash flows at the rate of your required rate of return, is it alright? What you get is maximum price you are ready to pay. Actual market price might be different. If you discount your cash flow, remember this, at the rate of YTM, at the rate of yield to maturity, which is not your required rate of return, it is the rate of return which the bond is actually earning, then the price which you get is nothing but market price of bond. Try to understand properly. What is YTM? Internal rate of return. What it is? It is a rate of return at which NPV is 0. So this will be present value of cash inflow. Also this will be present value of cash outflow, which is nothing but actual market price of the share. So remember this. Not only remember, try to even understand this. If you discount your cash flow at your required rate of return, it will be my valuation. If you discount the cash flow at YTM, it is nothing but market price, actual market price. This is actual market price of the bond. This is actual market price of the bond. Is it alright? So, this is how actual market price of the bond can be found out if you discount your cash flow at YTM. Is it alright? Yes. So 17% is actual rate of return bond is earning. This is just a rate on face value. Never it is required rate of return, never it is actual rate of return. When I say never, there are some exceptions. Is it alright? It can be actual rate of return if the project is earning exactly 16%, the interest as well as face value as well as the price of the bond is face value. Is it alright? Which is very rare. Price of the bond should be face value, or face value of the bond should be market price of the bond. Then only it will be exactly 16%. But otherwise this is a coupon rate. It is a rate on face value and never should be considered as required rate of return. Is it alright? Remember this always. If you discount it at your required rate of return, then you will be getting your price which you are maximum ready to pay. And if you discount it at YTM, you will, what is YTM? What actually it is earning, what actually market is earning. So you will be getting market price of the share. What is the current market price of the share? It is 964.03. Answer number 1. What is duration? I am doing it with number 2. I am finding out Merkley's duration. How to find out duration? I should be taken as years. Is it alright? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. What should be taken as weight? Present value at the rate of YTM. YTM we are knowing it is 17%. Is it all? What are the cash flows? 160, 160, 160, 160, 160, 1160. Is it all? Sir, this cash flows and this cash flows are different. No, they are same. It is written in a different manner. Otherwise, it is one and the same. Is it all? Now, I will have to find out individual answers of all this. Is it all right? So, first answer will be, what is YTM is 17%. So, first answer is 1 divided by 1.17 multiplied by 160 is 136.75. Second answer will be 1 divided by 1.17 is equal to multiplied by 160 is 116. Alright, and so on. So what I am doing is I am directly copying it from book. It is 99.84 then. 85.44. 72.96. 452.40. Total answer is 964. 30 or 40, 03 or 40 is not a big difference. Is it alright? So it is 96.40. What should be taken? This as I, this as W. Is it alright? Now I will have to solve it in front of you. You will have to solve it in examination. What is a good idea to solve it in examination? Please try to understand. Write down the factors first. So 1 divided by 1.17 is equal to, write down over here. Is it alright? Let me just explain you. 1 divided by 1.17 is equal to, write down over here. Is it alright? Is equal to, write down along with 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Right. Multiply both the factor as well as cash flow and do this answer by one by one write down, and ultimately last answer you can press just GT and get the answer. Sigma IW, this is sigma I, this is W. Is it correct? You need to find out IW. It is this multiplied by this multiplied by this. Here you can directly do GT. Is it all right? Because these answers are not relevant, direct answer is relevant. Find out a sigma IW divided by sigma W. Is it all right? And which will be 4.247 years. 4.247 years. As it is just a procedural aspect, these are number of years, average number of years in which your investment will be recovered. Is it right? Macleish duration also measures the risk. If it is another similar type of bond, you can just compare the duration and take the decision which bond is more risky. Is it right? Third, volatility of this bond. What is volatility? Is nothing but modified duration. Modified duration or volatility. What is it? It is duration divided by 1 plus ITM. What is duration? 4.247 divided by 1 plus YTM is 1.17. So it is 4.247 divided by 1.17 is 3.629 percentage. 3.629 percentage. What does this mean? If interest rate increases by 1%, then market price of bond will decrease. There is an inverse relationship by 3.629 percentage. Let us see what is asked next. Calculate the expected market price if increase in required yield is by 75 basis point. So you want to increase your yield by 75 basis point is 0.75 percentage. 100 basis point is 1 percentage. 200 basis point is 2 percentage. Is it alright? 0.75%. So you want a 0.75% more. How much amount you should pay less? How much will be market price of the bond lesser if the interest rate increases by 0.75%? Or in other case, if you want more 1% return, you should pay less a 3.629 percentage. Is it all right? How much more you want? You want 0.75 percentage. How much less percentage you should pay? This is cross multiplication. Is it alright? It is 3.629 multiplied by 0.75. The answer will be in percentage. Is it correct? 3.629 multiplied by 0.75 is 2.7217. Yes, if the rate of interest increases, the price of the bond should be lowered. What is the current market price of the share? Sorry, market price of the bond is 964.03 minus 2.7217 percentage. I will be getting answer of new market price of bond. Let me first find it out. 964.03 multiplied by 27217 minus this is 26. 964.03. It is 937.79. Rupees. See, finding out answer is not important. Logically understanding the answer is also important. If the market price of bond, what was first market price of the bond? 964. Then what was your yield? 17%. Is it alright? If the market price of the bond becomes 937.79, your yield will increase. As the price decreases, your yield will increase by 17.75%. Is it alright? Are you getting it? This is what was asked. If I want a yield of 0.75% more, then what should be the market price of the bond? So if the market price of the bond becomes 937.79, my yield will become 17.75%. So after finding out the answers also, you should concentrate and try that you solve it perfectly. What is asked and what you are finding out should be absolutely clear. Alright. This is all what was asked in the question. Is it alright? It is C 1.6.5. Is it all? We are taking just 2-3 minutes break and will be coming back again. What we will be solving is question number 6. Alright. Looks very weird. In looks it is somewhat weird. Based on the credit rating of the bonds, Mr. Z has decided to apply the following discount rate for valuing the bond. See how Mr. Z decides his required rate of return based upon a rating of the bonds. If the bonds are AAA rated, then what will be his required rate of return? 364 days treasury bill rate. Now this you cannot just have an knowledge that T-bills 364 rates, it goes on changing. Here it is given 364 T-bills rate is 9%. So if the bonds are AAA rated bond, his required rate of return will be 9 plus 3 is equal to 12%. If the bonds are AA rated bond, then his required rate of return will be AAA, that is 12 plus 2%, that is 14%. And if the bond is only A rated, then AAA plus 3%, sorry, 12 plus 3 is equal to 15%. Alright. Again a simple question. Meg, which bond is more risky? A, AA, AAA?
A1 is more risky.
A1, A.
Sorry, I mean A.
A is more risky, yes, because you are required, you want more rate of return from A, so it is more risky. Also,
higher the rate, higher the risk.
Yes, higher the required rate of return, higher is the risk. Is it alright? So, 15%, this is higher risky. This is just a gimmick to just find out required rate of return. Otherwise, this is your question. He is considering to invest in AA rated bond. So what is the required rate of return? Will be 14%. Face value is 1000. Currently selling at 1025.86. The bond has 5 years to maturity. Coupon rate is 15%. 15%, that will be 150 rupees. At the end of 1 to 5 years, cash flow will be 150 rupees. 1000 into 15%, payable annually. The next interest payment is due in 1 year from today, and the bond is redeemable at par. So at the end of 5th year, what I'll be getting is par. Par is 1000. Assume a 364 day stable rate at 9%, which we have already considered. You are required to calculate the intrinsic value of the bond for Mr. Z. Is it alright? You want to find out the valuation of bond for Mr. Z. What is the required rate of return of Mr. Z for AA rated bond? 14%. I will be finding out present value at the rate of 14%. Is it alright? 1 divided by 1.14 is equal to M plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 514.96, and this will be 1 divided by 1.14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 multiplied by 1000 is 519.36. It is 103.32. That's it, alright. Yes, Mehak again. Is this market price of the bond or it is a maximum price of Z is ready to pay for the bond?
It is the maximum price. Z is ready.
Why
to pay
it
for
is
the,
not market price of the bond?
because the 14% is his required rate of return,
Exactly.
not market.
If 14% was YTM, then
Then it is actually what the bond is earning. That is the market
agreed.
price.
But then this price would be,
Yes, if it is YTM, then it would be market price
then
of
it
the
would
bond.
be market price. Right now it is intrinsic value of the bond for Mr. Z, or this is a maximum price Z is ready to pay. Is it all? What is actual market price? Actual market price of the bond. Is it alright? It is 1025.86. You are required to calculate the intrinsic value of the bond. Is it alright? We have calculated it. Should he invest in the bond? What is the intrinsic? What is the maximum price he is? See, I always write down this because then it is easy for decision making. What is the maximum price Z is ready to pay? 1034. What is the price he will actually pay? 1025. What will be the decision? He will purchase the bond. Should he buy the bond? The answer is yes. He will purchase the bond. Is it all? Should he invest in the bond? The answer is yes. Also calculate the current yield and yield to maturity of the bond. Let me first find out yield to maturity. YTM. Is it alright? What will be YTM? I will have to find out the discount rate, but let me first. It is earning more than 14%. So let me try out first with 15%. Is it alright? Present value NPV at the rate of 15%. What are the cash flows? 1 to 5 years is 150. And in 5th year it is again 1000. Let me find out first present value of cash inflow, which will be 1 divided by 1.15 is equal to M plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. MRC multiplied by 150 is 502.82. And this will be 1 divided by 1.15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 multiplied by 1000 is 497.17. This is 99999 minus present value of cash outflow. Now this is not what you should take your valuation. You should take actual market price, because you want to find out actual rate of return what the bond is earning. Actual market price is 1025.86. 1025.86. So it is coming negative. At 14 you are earning more than 14%. Yes, and you are earning less than 15%. Is it alright? 999.99 minus 1025.86. It is minus 25.87. What is NPV at 14%? We are already knowing. What are present value of cash inflow at 14%? Is 1034.32. Minus present value of cash outflow 1025.86. This will be positive NPV. 1034.32 minus 1025.86 is 8.46. I will be taking this as base using that interpolation technique. Is it alright? IRR or YTM is equal to base rate plus positive NPV rate divided by difference in NPV multiplied by difference in rate. Base rate we are taking always a positive NPV rate, plus positive NPV is 8.46. Difference in NPV will be total of this minus this, so it will be plus this. It is 8.46 plus 25.87. It is 34.33. Difference in rate is 1. The answer will be 8.46 divided by 34.33 plus 14 is 14.24. Will be nothing but yield to maturity. Is it alright? And this is what is asked. What will be yield to maturity? Is it alright? See the question. Calculate the current yield and yield to maturity. Please understand, current yield and yield to maturity is one and the same concept. What actual rate of return you are earning at current market price of the share. So they are no different. Here it should be your current yield or yield to maturity you need to find out. So this is just a confusion or incorrect statement which is written. Current yield and yield to maturity is one and the same. Current yield is the actual rate of return you are earning at current market price of the bond. If you purchase the bond at this rate, what is the actual rate of return you are earning, and that is nothing but yield to maturity. So no need to find out current yield. We have found out yield to maturity and completed 1.6.6. Next, it is 1.6.8. 7 I have removed. It was just a repetition. I will be later on adding that 7th question from current year's paper, that is November paper. The following data are available for 3 bonds A, B and C. These bonds are used by a bond portfolio manager to fund an outflow scheduled in 6 years. Now in this question, this is important. I'll be using it in later on, because this is a portfolio manager who is purchasing the bond. Current yield is 9%. As I told you, it is one and the same. All bonds have face value of 100. So all 3 is having face value of 100. Will be redeemed at par. Interest is payable annually. So this is payable annually. Is it all right? What is maturity of this? 10 years. Maturity of this is 8 years, and maturity of this is 5 years. Calculate duration of each bond. See the number of marks in question. They are 12 marks. And believe me, this type of questions, even if it looks easy, they are difficult because they become very lengthy. Whenever you want to find out the duration of the bond, it becomes extremely it is not difficult, but it becomes extremely lengthy. Is it alright? So what I am doing in classroom is I am finding out duration of bond of this. Is it alright? Intentionally taking because it is having less number of years. Is it alright? Similarly, you need to find out the duration of this bond, but in classroom I will be directly taking duration from the answer. Is it alright? So let me find out first duration of bond C. What are the number of years to maturity? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This should be taken as I. What are the cash flows? The face value is 100 into 9% will be 9 rupees, 9 rupees, 9 rupees, 9 rupees and 109 rupees because it is redeemable at par. I need to find out W. What is W? Present value at the rate of YTM. What is YTM? 9%. So at 9% I need to find out present value. But I need individual answers. Is it alright? So it will be 1 divided by 1.09 is equal to 1 time multiplied by 9 is 8.26. 1 divided by 1.09 is equal to 2 times multiplied by 9 is 7.57. 1 divided by 1.09, 1, 2, 3, 3 times is equal to multiplied by 9. It is 6.95. 1 divided by 1.09, 1, 2, 3, 4 multiplied by 9. It is 6.38. 1 divided by 1.09, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 multiplied by 109 is 70.84. The total of this is sigma W. Is it all right? And believe me, it will be even market price of the bond. Why it is market price of the bond? Try to understand. I have discounted the cash flow at YTM. Actually what is earned, then it is market price of the bond. Sigma W is nothing but market price of the bond, which is nothing but 8.26 plus 7.57 plus 6.95 plus 6.38 plus 70.84. It is 100. I was surprised when I got 100. Are you? What? Why it is exactly 100? It is face value. Sakshi?
Coupon rate is equal to...
Yes, Mac, you continue. Yes?
Yield to maturity is equal to coupon rate, so it will always be same.
Exactly. Yield to maturity, if is equal to coupon rate, redemption value is the same. See, if the redemption value is different, then you might be getting another rate of return. Coupon rate is same. YTM is same. The all year's cash flow is 9 rupees. At the time of maturity also you are getting only face value plus your interest. Then your exact rate will come to 100 rupees. Is it all? I need to find out IW, which I can find out in calculator. You can find it out with GT, right? 8.26 M plus 7.57 multiplied by 2 is equal to M plus 6.95 multiplied by 3 is equal to M plus 6.38 multiplied by 4 is equal to M plus and 70.84 multiplied by 5 is equal to M plus. MRC is 423.97 and duration will be is equal to 4.239 years. Of which bond? Bond C. Try to understand. I took 2 or 3 minutes. Is it alright? But you need to find out of bond A, bond B in your examination and try to understand. Those were 5 years. In bond A and B, they are 10 and 8 respectively. Is it alright? So this will be a tedious. It will be a lengthy task. It is not at all difficult. Is it alright? For time being, this is duration of C. Duration of A and B I am taking from the book. Is it alright? A, B and C duration. Duration of C I have found out. It is 4.239. Duration of A is 6.86. All are years. And the duration of B is 5.84 years. So let me also round this off, 4.24 years. So this is nothing but the duration of the bond. I have just written it, but believe me, it will take minimum 15 minutes to calculate this too. Is it alright? I'm just not doing it because it will be a procedural task in classroom. Is it alright? So this is all duration, which was question number 1. Let me go to question number 2. The bond portfolio manager has asked to keep 45% of the portfolio money in bond A. So 45% of the money of the portfolio will be in bond A. Calculate the percentage amount to be invested in bond B and C that need to be purchased to immunize the portfolio. Is it alright? Now please try to understand first weighted average duration. Is it alright? Try to concentrate. If you are having 100 rupees, this is just an example, try to concentrate. If you are having 100 rupees, you keep 60 rupees in bond A and 40 rupees in bond B. Is it alright? See, what is portfolio is more than one security or more than one bond is portfolio. Is it alright? So this is your portfolio now. Is it alright? What is the total? 100 rupees invested. 60 rupees in bond A, 60 rupees in bond B. The duration of bond A was 6 years and duration of bond B was 5 years. I want to find out what is duration of portfolio. Believe me, duration of portfolio is nothing but weighted average duration. Take this as I, this as W, sigma IW divided by sigma W. Is it alright? So sigma, this will be 360, this will be 200, sigma IW will be 560 and sigma W will be 100 and average duration will be 5.6 years. Is it alright? So whenever there is portfolio, the duration is nothing but weighted average duration of all the stocks. Is it alright? Now we are going to question number 2. What they are saying is the portfolio manager says that you need to invest 45% in bond A. So how much will be invested in bond A? 45%. Having a duration of 6.86 years. Is it alright? What they are asking is, how much should be invested in bond B and C to immunize the portfolio? Now understand, a portfolio manager will always be deciding what is the duration within which he want back the money when he needs to repay the money. Because the people who have invested in their bonds might be having the repayment. Is it alright? The portfolio manager will have to repay the money and try to now concentrate on this. The bond portfolio manager to refund an outflow schedule in how many years? 6 years. Is it alright? So your portfolio duration should be 6 years. I'm not talking about A, B and C, but portfolio duration should be 6 years. Is it alright? Now, how to find out average portfolio duration? This is my investment 0.45, 6.86 years multiplied by 0.45. Total will be 100 because I'm taking it in percentage. Is it alright? Is how much? 6.86 multiplied by 0.45 is 3.087. How much you want duration of the portfolio to be? Is 6 years, out of which the average of A which is taking is 3.087. Because it is decided that you need to invest this much in 45% in A. Is it alright? So this answer will be 6 minus 3.087. 2.913. Then what should be this? It is nothing but average duration of B and C. Should be 2.913. Is it alright? Now, what will be invested in B and C is 55%. Is it alright? So, suppose A is invested in portfolio B. Let me not take it A because then it will be confused with the name of portfolio. Is it alright? Suppose a portion P is invested in portfolio B. P portion invested in bond B is equal to P. Is it alright? What is duration of B? Into 5.84 plus, then what will be invested in C? 0.55 minus P. Is it alright? Say 0.30 was invested in B. Then 0.55 minus 0.30 is 0.25. 0.25 will be invested in C. What is the duration of C? Is 4.24. What should be average duration of B and C? Is 2.913. And this will form my equation which will give me answer of P. That is a proportion in B. I am not solving it right now, but if you solve it, it is 35 and 36. No. It is 36.12%. Let me solve it on my own so that we get an exact answer as well. It is 5.84p plus 0.55 into 4.24. Is 2.332 plus 2.332 minus 4.24p will be is equal to 2.913. This and this will be deducted. 5.84 minus 4.24 is 1.6p is equal to 2.913 minus 2.332 is 0.581. P will be is equal to 0.581 divided by 1.6. 0.581 divided by 1.6 is 0.36. Is it all? Will be proportion in B. What was proportion in A? 0.45. What is proportion in B? 0.36. Total should be 1, that is 100%. So what will be in C is 0.55 minus 0.36. 0.55 minus 0.36 is 0.19. That's right. Now, sir, still we don't understand what is this. Try to concentrate what they are asking. They are asking, if 45% is to be invested in A, how much should be invested in B and C so that the portfolio duration is 6 years? Because they want to refund the money to their investors, so they will need money after 6 years, and so they want the duration of the portfolio to be 6 years. Now if you will find out average duration of the portfolio, you will be getting 6 years. Is it alright? But here the question is asked in a reverse manner. In A, you need to invest 45%. So 55% should be invested in B and C so that the average duration of the portfolio becomes 6 years, and this is how the calculation is made. Is it alright? Go to question number 3. After the portfolio has been formulated, an interest rate change occurs, increasing the yield to 11%. So YTM is becoming 11%. The new duration of this bond, as YTM has increased, see the duration. Duration of bond A has become 7.15 years. 7.15 years. B has become 6.03. And C has become 4.27. Is the portfolio still immunized? Why or why not? Is it alright? What was our, I just need to find out the average duration. Is it alright? So, what is the investment in A, B and C? This is 0.45%. This is 0.36 and this is 0.19. Total is 1. This is W. This is I. Sigma IW divided by sigma W will be nothing but a duration of portfolio. Let me find it out in calculator. It is 7.15 multiplied by 0.45 is equal to M plus 6.03 multiplied by 0.36 is equal to M plus 4.27 multiplied by 0.19 is equal to M plus MRC is 6.19 or 6.20 years. What was previous portfolio duration? In this case, believe me, duration of portfolio will be 6 years because this is how we have calculated it. Correct. Now the duration is a 6.20, means my recovery will happen after 6 years. I will need money exactly on 6th year. It is happening in 7th year. 6.20 is 7th year. Is it alright? So my portfolio is not immunized. You will say me, sir, when the portfolio is immunized, when you will need money after 6 years, but you will be getting money after 5 years, your portfolio is immunized. If you will be getting money exactly on 6th year, your portfolio is perfectly immunized. Is it all right? But if you are getting after 6 years, your portfolio is not immunized. Is it all right? This was question number 3. Determine the new percentage of B and C that are needed to immunize the portfolio, bond A remaining 0.45%. Again, the same thing is to be repeated. Is it alright? If these are my durations, I want to immunize my portfolio. Alright, in A, it will be 0.45%, 7.15 years. So in A, my average portfolio average duration will become 7.15 multiplied by 0.45 is nothing but 3.2175. What is total duration required? 6 years. What should be duration of B and C? Is 6 minus this? It is 6 minus 3.2175. It is 2.7825. This should be duration of B and C. That's correct. Let proportion in B is equal to P. That's correct. So how much will be the average duration of B portfolio is a P multiplied by duration of B, 6.03 years. What will be duration average duration in C? 0.55 minus P will be investment in C multiplied by duration 4.27. Average duration of B, average duration of C will be average duration of B and C, which should be equal to 2.7825. Let me solve this again. 6.03 plus 4.27 into 0.55 is 2.3485. So this is 6.03p minus 4.27p is equal to 2.7825. 6.03 minus 4.27 is equal to 1.76p is equal to 2.7825 minus 2.3485. It is 0.434. So proportion P is nothing but proportion in B will be is equal to 0.434 divided by 1.76. 0.434 divided by 1.76 is equal to 0.25 percentage. 0.25 will be in B. Is it alright? What is total in B and C? 0.55. So proportion in C will be 0.55 minus 0.25 will be 0.30. Is it alright? What is the new proportion to immunize the portfolio? A 0.45, B 0.25 and C 0.30. This should be proportion of investment in bond A, B and C respectively. Is it alright? My question is, Sakshi, my question is, if I will find out now portfolio duration, average duration of portfolio, what will be the answer? Stuti?
Sir, it will be 6 years.
Exactly, it will be 6 years. This is nothing but immunizing of portfolio. I want to make my portfolio duration 6 years, and so I am investing various percentage in bond A, B and C. If it is less than it, it is alright, but if it is more than it, then your portfolio is not perfectly immunized. Is it alright? This is nothing but question number 1.6.8. 8. Good question, because out of 100 marks, this was 12 marks question asked in November 2018. It is, see, end 2018 is November 2018 ICAI's question. Is it alright? And it was of 12 marks. But it was very, very lengthy. Is it alright? Because I have not calculated A and B duration. Is it alright? This was 1.6.8. 1.6.910. So 4 more questions are pending in the classwork of bond that we will be doing in next lecture. That's correct.